Hi everyone, this is EstaRa with a message for you today. Today is Wednesday, May 24th, 2017. We're getting ready for a new moon tomorrow, and we are getting ready for a holiday weekend here in the United States. And lots is going on, lots of energies, lots of things happening. And I just wanted to share a couple things with you. A message that might be helpful to you, it may not be, but it's a little bit about my story recently. And also, I'm going to pull a card for us. So, about a week ago, I was having lots of emotion. I've been spending a lot of time outdoors in the morning, like quiet, like between 5:30 in the morning and 8 o'clock in the morning, where I do my meditation, I write in a journal, I read, I meditate, I do whatever I feel is necessary for me. So, whatever is important for me to do in my day-to-day life to be able to function and necessary to provide guidance and healing to everyone that I work with and to stay in a balance. I do that with myself every morning, about 3 hours, and then I have about an hour at bedtime. So that's my normal routine, and I know that a lot of you are like, oh my God, I can never do that. Well, it's not for everybody to do. If you're not doing the work I'm doing, then it's not necessary to do that much. But it is necessary to do a little bit every day for yourself, because you want to keep raising frequency and you want to come more into alignment with who you are and where you're going. So one of the things that I recognized last week, I was really upset with my twin. It's been a couple months since I've spoken to him. His birthday is on Saturday, so it's in 3 days. And I know something physically happened with him. I know that I was very sick as well. And so part of the disconnect was partly because I was very ill, like terribly ill. And I think something happened with him too. And I've been reaching out, trying to reach him. He's not responding. So I feel like that's his stuff, whatever he's going through, that's what he needs to go through right now. And I'm having faith and trusting that. And I've come to that point today or over the week. But I was upset last week. So I wrote him a letter. I tell people a lot of times, I do the homework I give to my clients. So those of you who are my clients and regularly work with me or have worked with me and know how my journey is, I always give homework to you, typically. And always the homework is something that I've done myself or I will do myself, because I never give stuff that I've not tried myself, because that's ridiculous. I mean, I really want to be authentic with all of you and live the way I speak. And so I do ultimately live the way I speak. So one of the things I did was, I'm going to write him a letter and get this out of me. And so I was angry and I was hurt and I was upset. And I wrote the letter. And at the end of the letter, I wrote the words, "I let you go for now, for you to do what you feel you must do." And I cried. I cried for like 45 minutes outside, sobbing. My poor neighbors, they were like, normally they say hi to me. They didn't say anything. It's probably because they're like, oh my God, she's crying. So I let myself grieve it, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I want to send it, but I don't want to send it. I don't know. Maybe it's just something I need to just purge. And I know for a lot of the people I give homework to, I have people just purge, and that is something that I do a lot. So I wrote it, I let it go. Next day, I read it and I cried. But I didn't cry because it was horrible. I cried because it was the most loving, beautiful thing I've written in a long time. I always write beautiful things to him. But what I found in this particular letter was I was gushing in love with him and gushing love to him and sharing this unconditional, magical love that I feel for him, which is exactly the opposite of what I thought I was doing. I thought I was releasing anger and frustration and how dare you not call me? How dare you tell me you love me and you care about me and then not call me? How dare you say all these things and not do it? Well, guess what? None of those words were in there. And if any of you know me, this is actually very normal for me, very common, that I want to write him something angry. Like I'll be so ready to write him something angry, and then of course I speak to him from my soul and this beauty comes out of my mouth, or I write these emails that are magnificent. And a couple times I said to friends, I'm so angry, I wrote this email, I don't know how I feel about it, and then I read it to them and they're like, oh my God, that's so beautiful, where's your anger? I don't see it. And that's, I guess, a common thing. I just shouldn't say I guess. I know it's a common thing because it's been happening for years. And truly, the most beautiful stuff comes out. So I sat with it again and I thought, well, maybe I should actually send this to him. And I haven't sent it yet. And I don't know if I will. So another day goes by. A couple days go by and I was really busy. I read it again. And it was, again, this massively beautiful thing. And I know on some level he's hearing it. Obviously, he's me. So if I'm reading it, he's reading it as well. And so I know he feels it because ever since I wrote it, I feel this other energy with me, him, in a way that I haven't felt him. So that was kind of beautiful. Well, that's not the reason I'm sharing this with you. What I'm sharing with you is something that my guides brought into my awareness. And I really came strongly into my connection yesterday when I was doing a session with a client. So writing this letter, it showed me that I'm not angry with him, that I'm not even wanting to be angry with him. But what I am doing is not letting myself love him. Oh, isn't that interesting? Because I do love him. We all know this. And anybody who knows me knows I say I love this man, and can believe that and resonate with it and understand it. But what I didn't recognize is in my attempts to stay balanced, in my attempts not to feel the pain and not to dive into a spiral in the recent months, the recent couple months that we've not spoken, and in my attempts not to be sad and to just kind of refocus myself, I'm refocusing from love. Woo! Interesting. So what does that mean? So that means that what I've been doing is I choose not to think about him. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to see his name, which by the way is everywhere. And it's not a very common name, but in today's world it's not. But it's like this crazy thing. Everything I turn on, there's something with his name. Or where I go, I see his name. And in the attempts of not wanting to do that, I'm actually stopping the love that I feel for him. Isn't that wild? Because I do love him, right? And I think of him in love, but I'm not letting myself feel that love. And isn't that love the power that empowers us to go forward, empowers us to change, empowers us to be the twin flames that we are, and empowers our union? And so in doing that, I found that in some ways, I'm using it as a distraction. So reading that is the most magnificent thing. I just gushed with love in that. I gushed with so much love for him. And when I read it, it just felt like every ounce of the love I was sending to him, I was feeling coming to me. So one of the things that I found that I'm not doing, and it's not even that I'm aware of it. So my guides are letting me know it's not a conscious thing. We're not all aware of what we're doing. It's not like we're consciously like, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel love for him. But what I'm doing is I don't want to feel the pain. So you can't have one without the other, right? You can't feel one emotion without feeling the other. You have to feel all of them. Again, there's a rainbow of emotions because we're meant to feel them all. And so one of the things that I've recognized is that I am using that. I'm distracting by not wanting to see it. Like, for example, I went to watch a couple movies the other day. For the weekend, I was like hidden away at my family's. I was house sitting. And I loved it, actually. It was really quiet. My phone did not work there, which was weird. It always has worked, but it didn't this past weekend. And I went to watch a TV show, and then his name showed up in it. I'm like, okay, I can't turn it. I turned it off. And then later in the day, I watched a movie, and his name showed up again. And I'm like, it was like a big part of the movie. I'm like, no, can't do this. It didn't occur to me that as I'm doing that, I'm pushing away him. I'm pushing away his love. I'm pushing away his signs. Because I don't know about many of you. I've been on the journey for 12 years, so I don't know about all of you, but his name slams me sometimes. I just see it everywhere, hear it everywhere. It's like literally in my face. And it gets overwhelming. And sometimes it makes me want to cry because I'm like, oh my God, I see you. I feel you. Why can't I feel you? Why can't you be here so I can touch you? And so in the many years of this, it gets really overwhelming. And so I try to push it away. Well, I'm telling you this and I'm hearing myself and I'm thinking how ridiculous, because I would tell everybody else, oh my God, those are just signs that he's there and that it's like reassuring and reaffirming all this love for you and reaffirming your journey. And I believe that. But I feel like for me, sometimes it got overwhelming and I don't want to go there. I'm trying to like stay balanced. And when I think about him, it does make me emotional. It makes me long for him. But not, it's funny. I've changed in the last year, so that the longing isn't the same, but I think I'm having, it's like trauma. I'm hearing the words. It's like a trauma that I'm igniting. Like it feels traumatizing to not be with him. It feels traumatizing not to hear his voice and not touch him and not speak to him. And it's not that those things are traumatizing. What's traumatizing is I hear his voice, I hear it, I see it. I experience it, I think of him, and then it brings up all that emotion of him not being here right now with me. And it like almost re-traumatizes me. So in some ways it's like, um, I'm trying to avoid that reoccurrence of feeling and trying to avoid that spiral of emotion. And in doing so, I'm also avoiding that love that I feel with him. And so that beautiful letter that I wrote him is reminding me it's okay to love him. It's okay to feel that love I have for him. Because guess what? That means it's reverberating into his reality and he's feeling the love. When I'm denying myself the feeling and I'm denying his name and I'm ignoring it and shutting it out, then he's doing the same thing. And who did it? Who started it first? I don't know. Because here's the funny thing. As I mentioned in the last video, whatever's going on in me is going on in him. Whatever's happening in him is happening in me. And it might not look exactly the same, or it may, but it is happening. And so my guess is that it started with him. And the reason I say that, for those of you who don't know, my human name is April. So the whole month of April happened. And I guarantee my name was everywhere in his world, every single moment of every single day, prior to April and after April, and during April, and it's in the month of April. So I am sure he was like, I don't know anymore. Don't give me the dates. He probably actually said to whoever, his secretary was, don't give me the number. Don't say April 15th or April 16th. Say 4/16, because he didn't want to hear it. He was trying to cut it out. I believe that because it reverberated in my reality and I was doing the same thing. And I was shutting out the love too. And what I recognize is if he's shutting that out, my name, then, and he's probably getting slammed with it just as I am. That doesn't just happen in one world and not the others. If that's happening, then I'm also shutting out that love that I'm feeling for him because I'm not allowing myself to tune into that or to experience that or to like really enjoy that and be in that love and that yummy bliss, which means he's shutting it out. He's not allowing himself to be in that yummy bliss. And it's interesting because I'm telling you this. Now, this happened last week. I think it was Thursday. I wrote it, or Wednesday. I don't know, one of those days. And by Friday, I started to recognize that love I felt. And oh my God, it was just gushing love in this letter. And then over the weekend, he kept sending me images of every time he was with me, every time he's been in my home. Like I literally saw him replay everything. I wasn't replaying it. It was replaying in my head from him. So I'm showing you and telling you that what's happened was opening up to that and recognizing where I'm distracting me actually made a difference. In the sense that our twin flame, if they're shutting out us because they're trying not to go there, trying to be in their quote unquote balance or stay away from what changes they might need to make or whatever they're doing, that shutting out, it's showing up in our reality. We're doing the same thing. So guess what? When we're shutting them out or we're like, I don't want to know, or everything's fine, I'm great, I don't need to feel that. I don't know. It just shuts out more of that love. And then we get into the doubt and we get into the fear. And why do we get into the doubt and fear? Because guess what? We're reverberating back and forth, distance, denial, shutting out, all that stuff. We're not actually sending back love back and forth. Like we should be bouncing the love energy back and forth, not bouncing denial, doubt, and fear. Doubt comes from denial, right? We're denying something, so we're doubting it. And then we look for evidence to prove our doubt. And so if we're like denying ourselves, for example, myself denying his name, then in his reality, he's denying my name. So that comes back to me where I don't feel him thinking about me. I don't feel the love sent from him because he's denied it. Well, guess what? I denied it too. So he didn't receive the love from me. I know I'm rambling, but I hope it makes sense to you what I'm saying, because this is a really big epiphany. And maybe all of you know this already. And here's the crazy thing. I obviously know this already, but I needed to reach it on a different level where I recognized what it was actually doing. And doing that exercise of writing him my letter where I wanted to be angry with him, it actually was my gushing of love. So what it showed me was it's not that I needed to release anger. I needed to release my love to him. And so it was really powerful, really, really powerful. And it feels really good to me. And it's a great reminder. But here's what's crazy. It's a great reminder. But I need to remind myself every day. Because every day that I don't want to feel something, or every day I want to stay in balance. And I'm saying that because that's from my head. I'm trying to control it from my head, right? I'm not controlling it from my heart. Again, you don't control it from your heart. But I'm trying to control that balance. I want to make sure I maintain it. Well, I have to do it from my love, my heart. So the way you stay in balance is doing some of the stuff that I'm describing that I do every day, and I'm doing, and I'm going to be consistent with it. And there's days that I don't want to be. Let me tell you, there's days I want to run away from all the work I intend to do every morning, but I do it. And that is a great way of helping. The other piece that I added to my daily routine in the evening, it's been there for a long time now, but it is something that I'm not always consistent with. I add writing 10 things that I'm grateful for from my day. So before I go to bed, that's like usually the last thing I do. Now, if I don't do my morning journaling, I mean, my evening journaling, I do it in the morning. A lot of times when I don't do the evening journaling, it's like I'm so tired when I go to bed that I have no more in me to give. And the best I could do for me is to go to sleep, but I do it the next day. So I highly recommend journaling gratitude stuff because that helps raise your frequency as well. And what last thing do I want to share with you? Yeah, there's a lot of energy coming with this new moon, and our twins are definitely in inner turmoil and they're in inner fear and stuff. We can help them by being in our own heart, by being in our love, by raising our frequency, by being who we truly are. So I want you to know that. And I'm going to try to come back with a new moon message if that's necessary or if it's needed or if my guides present it to me. But for the moment, I feel like this is what I'm leaving you with. And I don't want to do a very long video today, but I definitely wanted to get that information out to you. And I want to pull a card from the Archangel deck because I was really guided this morning. I pulled one earlier on my Instagram, so you can check that out too if you are not on Instagram. I mean, if you're not on my Instagram, you might want to find me there. I post a lot of pictures. Also, I just did a new blog post. So whenever I receive a question from any of my viewers or any of my clients or students or any of my followers on Facebook, if somebody sends me a question and I find that the answer would be pertinent to all of you, I share it on my blog. That's something I started doing recently. So it's called the Q&A, and it's Q&A for Twin Flames particularly, but it says Q&A and whatever the question is. So today, yeah, I did post something, so check it out if you haven't already done so. It's inside my links here for my blog. It is, can sending love to your twin every day repel them? That was a question, and I answered it in my blog, so check that out for sure. And let's pull a card from the Archangels. Oh, and there's an upcoming Energy Body upgrade on May 31st if anyone's interested. It'll be a really powerful one because it is like in this new moon, but there's like this new energy coming in for June. So the reason it's on the 31st is in preparation for June's energy, massive energy change coming in June. June's a powerful month. I don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. Again, my guys don't always let me know. They tell me I'm on a need to know basis, and I don't always need to know. So let's go into the card for today. Oh, and before I forget, my guys are also reminding me, a meditation on the full moon for Twin Flames is in June. Check out my calendar listings for that, June 10th, I believe it is. It's a webinar and a phone, so you can either dial in or you can come in on the computer. There's also at the end of June, a month from today. Oh, isn't that interesting? June 24th, manifesting in multidimensional way, fifth dimensional manifesting. I highly recommend the class, especially when you're working with your twin flame stuff and your energies and working on manifestation. My guides are channeling that information to me, and it's powerful. It's going to be powerful. Okay, so here we go. Card for all my beloved beings of light here in the earth grid that are divine twin flames. What could you give to us for a message today? Okay, card just flew out of the deck, and we're going to go with that. Archangel Gabriel, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or a pen, an article or book. Well, isn't that ironic? Isn't that what I was just speaking about? So creative writing is the message. So maybe perhaps you might want to do the exercise I'm suggesting. At least do it to discover if you have a block to something. You know, the only thing that keeps us separate are the twin flames. The keeping twin flames separate is the barriers to love that each of the twins have. And when I'm putting up that denial, like I don't want to hear his name, I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear a song that makes me think of him, I don't want to get emotional, I don't want to read something that's going to make me think of him, I don't want to watch a movie that's going to trigger emotion. If I do all that, then I'm stopping the love coming into my heart, because it might hurt a little, might be a little painful, but the truth is there's so much more to it, so much more love that can come in, and it keeps my heart open. So reopen your heart and use some creative writing to assist you, and ask for Archangel Gabriel. This is a beautiful card. Ask for Archangel Gabriel to assist you on that journey. Ha, that's funny that that's the message they're bringing to you, since my whole little spiel was about writing and writing a letter to my twin. So, in case you missed the beginning, I would say to you, write a letter to your twin. But consciously, unconsciously, consciously write a letter. Don't think about what you're going to say, and just write. Just keep writing. And I wouldn't have the intentions of sending it, because I feel like it's not about sending the letter. It's about um, just writing and letting things out of you and releasing what needs to be released. And so for me, I needed to release the love. In some ways, I was keeping it sealed and tucked away, you know? So anyway, I send you all love and light. Namaste, beautiful beings, for a beautiful union and for a beautiful holiday weekend and for some magic to be in your life. Open your hearts and gush with love to your twin. Namaste.